What's new in AI? Let's figure it out.
Are you trying to intro right now?
Unless you got something, go for it.
That could be the intro.
Let's look at some quick updates in the world of AI today, and then we're gonna do a little playing with the new Canva AI stuff, see what we can make out of that. Something like that?
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay. Tell me what's new with AI, dude.
Biggest update that I've seen recently is the Llama 3.1 release. It's insane. It's like the largest and most capable AI model yet. So it's got 405 billion parameters, which is just basically like brain cells. So it's insane. It can't be run on most computers because it's too powerful. It takes so much processing. So they made also like a smaller version as well with only 8 billion parameters, and different tools have been using this because it's open source. And so things like Grok, which I hadn't used yet, so I used for the first time recently. And this is free to use, and they use Llama 3.1, so you get to test out the new super powerful computing, and it's so fast. Like this is faster than anything I've used before, so I'm going to be using it more for work this week and see what I can create with it. If you want, I can share my screen and show you something.
I'd be curious. So I'm looking it up now because I haven't heard about this at all. Of course, it's called Llama for some reason. That's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
but it's by Meta, which is interesting. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. So
Yeah, I mean their whole
Meta's
thing is
pretty,
open source, so they just wanted to create something that was community focused and open source and able
yeah.
to basically basically hit the same numbers as ChatGPT and other places that or other platforms that are not open source. But Meta,
Interesting.
they make money off of Facebook and other revenues, so they don't need to charge money for this kind of stuff. So they get a lot more popularity and aren't losing money. So
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
pretty crazy. Zuckerberg gives these big announcements, and the world is watching.
I'll
You
have to
want me
check
to
that
share my
out.
screen and show?
Sure, sounds good.
All right. I'm
So
just going to share the
my
window.
understanding of this is admittedly foggy. With the open source stuff, does that basically just mean you can take the code for Llama 3.1 and run it on any other?
Exactly. So they have
Okay,
their own
gotcha.
meta.ai site that uses their processing basically, but you don't have to use their AI website. It's a little clunky, but you can use Grok, or I mean like any company can use this AI in their software or in their platform,
Hmm.
and it's free to use, unlike OpenAI and other sources. So
That's super
it's pretty
interesting.
crazy. So and then OpenAI, it's usually this like it's just this leapfrogging where OpenAI is the best and you want to pay the money because it's worth it because they're better, but give it like 1 month or 2 months and Meta releases their new thing that's like
Hmm.
just barely better than that and free. So it's a bit of a leapfrog happening. But like
Yeah.
this is Grok. Can you see my screen?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. Um, there we go. I'm gonna ask you for a prompt that you think will be a fair amount of text.
A fair amount of text.
Yeah, I mean it could just be like telling it to write like a 1,000 word story or something, but
Okay, teach me how to make the perfect ice cream sundae.
Sunday. Is that AE?
Yes, it is. Good
All right.
job.
Boom. Whoosh. So just
Ooh,
like that, it just
wow,
throws
that
it
was
out there.
very
So
quick.
it's no more like watching it type it out and you're like
Right, the
following
do do
along.
do
It's just
do.
you ask the question and boom, there's the answer.
Yeah,
It's insane. So this is the 8-bit. I
Cecil.
think this is like the faster one. They have a bunch of other processing that you can use in here, but see they have 3.170 and they have the 3.18, and it's fun to play around with.
Interesting.
Instant, high speed. So anyway, yeah, I recommend playing around with it because it is extremely fast and well written and free to use. You just type in your email. You don't even need a password or anything.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah.
I will definitely look into that. What's Grok? Has Grok been around for a while? I
I
haven't heard of that one
literally
either.
don't know because
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's two Groks because Elon Musk X's AI is also called Grok, and
Oh, really?
so it's Grok, and this one's Grok. So I don't know which one came first. I can look into that more, but I knew
Interesting.
that on X, if you pay for premium, so you're paying for it, then you can unlock their AI feature. But if you but this Grok is free and uses Llama. So
Hmm,
yeah,
interesting.
I know, good to play around with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's like the biggest one I saw. ChatGPT is also going to be testing with like people who are signed up for it. I joined the wait list, but I don't have access to it yet. But they're testing a search
Okay.
GPT. It's basically an updated Google, trying to actually be the next big search platform. Um, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, I'm excited because like there's new updates every single week. So
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We chose the topic that's so easy to talk about on a weekly basis. I mean, you could basically talk
Yeah.
about it on a daily basis and have new, new content. So
The fact that it's moving so fast and people are using AI to make AI better in all of the, right?
hmm
It's crazy. All right. Any other tidbits, any other news in the world that we should be aware of?
YouTube released some new AI rules as far as like marking
Okay.
your content if it's made with AI. Not terribly
Interesting.
interesting, but something to be aware of. That's about all I
Hmm.
got. You said you're looking into Canva AI. You want to share more about that?
Sure. Speaking of fake videos and stuff, I'm trying to play with it more. Just, this is 50% of, I feel like what I do for work is just design. And part of that is my own fault because I love the design stuff. So Canva is my best friend. But for it being my best friend, I really have not played with their AI stuff like hardly at all yet. It hasn't been very clean yet. I mean, it's clean. It's Canva, it's clean, but it's still a little funky looking, if you're trying to make it an image or a video. It's kind of
Can't
cool.
quite
Fun
make
to play.
hands yet.
Right, stuff like that. Yeah. So it's fun to play around with, but like nothing that I've actually been able to use for work yet.
hmm
As far as just the generated stuff, just like generating a video, generating. So I know it's coming and I know I need to be able to use it. So anyway, I wanted to like play around with it and just show you some of the things that it can do. So Canva has their whole Magic Studio now. This is the hub for all of the AI stuff that they are offering, right? So they make it really pretty and exciting, and I am excited about it. And I want to look at some of this stuff, some of the more transforming stuff versus like generating from scratch, because I think that some of that will is a little more applicable right now.
hmm
But we can go in here and they've got this generate, image from text tool, which I know a lot of places have that. They just introduced a video one. And I keep thinking about ice cream, so I'm going to say like a race car driving on ice cream. And then we'll see what it comes up with. Like I said, I haven't found like a practical application for making crazy weird videos. Like I could just make an Instagram account for weirdly generated AI videos, and maybe that'd be interesting to people, and maybe it wouldn't. But as far as actual professional projects, well, it's going to take a while. Videos are hard to generate. That kind of makes sense. I don't think it took ice cream as the food. It's a race car on ice, not moving anywhere. See? So it still struggles a bit. And it's cool. And it's crazy because it looks, you know, weird but realistic but weird. Anyways, but they've
Hmm.
got some cool generation stuff that you can do. This stuff feels like it might be the more practical. So we've got image editing that you can do. There's Magic Grab where you can take a piece like, hey, I want this coffee cup right here. You can grab it. Man, if I make videos about how to actually use this, I'm gonna have to cut out all this loading stuff. Okay, I've got this coffee mug. I took it away and replaced it with some sort of white rose for some reason. All right, cool.
Did you tell it to?
No, I
Or
didn't. That's
just
really interesting. But now I
weird.
could take this coffee mug and I could use it, or I could take this picture that has been, the coffee mug was taken out of, whatever I want to do there. Which is kind of cool. Another thing that I think is cool that you can do is the magic expand. So let's say you have this photo. This is actually something I've used when I was trying to make, actually, I'm gonna magic resize this to, let's make a phone wallpaper because this is what I've actually used it for. Okay. I love that you can resize stuff. This is a terrible example of it, but it is really nice. So let's say you have this picture and you want to make it big enough for your phone, but right now it's just like this and you don't want to cut everything out by cropping it, right? You can do the magic expand, which is actually really cool. There's a bunch of different options that you can use, but if I just want it to fill the whole page, I'll click that. And then it's going to try to generate that top and bottom space that I have to actually fill it up. And I picked a pretty simple one, so it might actually look pretty good. The one I did last time had like a tree, and it looked like a tree, but it was kind of funky if you looked at it for too long, you know?
Hmm.
This probably is the last thing that I'll show on this podcast. I'll try to figure out a way to actually like show things without having to go through the whole loading screen. Because I think that one of my goals for AI as far as learning about it, I want to learn about it more in general. I want to see how else I can apply it for my marketing stuff. But I also really want to get good at what Canva has to offer once what they're offering is usable. See? So they put like
Nice.
another coffee cup in here. I don't know why we've got some like swatches of green back here. They finished this mug pretty well though, and extended the table, which isn't too hard. So it's kind of interesting, you know? I mean, it looks good. Um, they give you a few different options, so you can kind of pick and choose. That one I think has an apple in the background. Okay, whatever.
Nice.
Um, see what you kind of like best. Actually, I think I like this one better. It's got like a little plant to go with the plant, and the edge of the table looks to be right there, or this
Either way,
might
it seems to be
be
finishing
sitting
that
down.
cup pretty well every time, which is
Oh yeah,
just cool.
it does. It's doing pretty well on the cup. For some reason, it looks a little worse than that one, but in general, it does pretty well on the cup, which is good. Yeah, super interesting. So I had a picture of me and my bridesmaids from my wedding that I wanted to make
Right,
my
yeah. I heard
background.
about
Yeah,
that.
so I put it on there, and then it wasn't big enough. I would have been cropping out faces, so I made it smaller and I extended it up. And it looked really
Nice.
good.
Hmm.
Again, not professional work, but fun stuff to play with.
Hopefully that'll get faster down the road.
I'm sure it will. I don't know what their next plan is for updating this for making it better, but I'm excited to see what they do. Just because they are really good about yeah, about making things pretty, about making design work and fast and accessible to anyone with whatever level of talent you may have in design. I
Hmm.
am no means a professional graphic designer, but I design stuff all the time because I use this. And now it just sounds like a Canva commercial. So that's good.
I love how you say you're by no means a professional, even though it's like what you do for your job and everyone loves it.
Well,
So
I mean
I'm not
like
a
graphic
professional. I'm just better
design,
than most people.
like okay, thank you. That's well, okay, that's fine. Yeah,
It's
it is
cool.
interesting. I mean, you can kind of see we'll do this now and then hopefully, you know, month down the road or whenever they do the next update, it'll be faster, better, whatever it is. So it'll be cool to look back at how things worked. Although
Hmm.
I don't know that it'll be very easy to get that llama stuff any quicker because that was instantaneous. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be quicker at this point. It needs to be, they
More
need to
accurate,
improve
more powerful.
graphics, videos.
Sure.
Yeah, make it so that it can, something that powerful can run on your computer more easily, I guess. So,
Any other tools to look out for that we should be keeping an eye on, experimenting with? I mean, like I said, for me, it seemed like Canva is a really kind of a no-brainer if their stuff's any good because I use it all the time already. Um, but yeah, I'll look into the llama stuff too. Any other tools?
not exactly. I'm gonna shout out a podcast that I started listening to. I've only watched the first episode, and the third one just came out. But there's a podcast called Shell Game, and it's by Evan Ratliff, and basically he's creating AI voices of himself and fooling people on scam calls and different things like that. So it's fun because he just talks it through and he shares the audio, the audio from these calls and how he sounds. He like showed him calling his wife and her being like, "This is not you," and he's like, "No, it's me. It's really me." And it's like it's creepy, but it's cool. It's just his
Ooh.
like journey of trying to figure out how to create himself because he talks about how other people kind of don't like the idea of taking your voice, like they're suing people for having a voice sounding like yours or being trained off your voice. And he's
Hmm.
like, I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to create a bunch of copies of me and send them out into the world and see what they do. So it's just his journey. So I recommend it. It's about AI. It's fun. It's entertaining. I really need to catch up on the latest episodes, but and in it he talked about VAPI AI, 11 Labs, a couple other AI tools that I wrote down that he's used. So if you want the latest AI tools, I recommend listening to that.
All
But it's pretty
right.
interesting. I'm like, if I liked my voice better, maybe I'd do it too. But
Aw.
I don't need to
Yeah.
send it everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I already have a tough enough time listening to my own voice.
Yeah,
But that's fair.
me too.
Thank you. But no, but I'm curious just where you think the world is heading with that kind of stuff. Like if we, you know, we already have the deep fake videos and we already have the videos where you can put anyone's face over your face and make them look like they're saying whatever, right? And those are only getting better and better. So if a person's voice is no longer their own, right? Their own like Someone like man, I'm spacing on his name. Come on, the dude from Jurassic Park. The guy with the
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Why couldn't I think of Jeff Goldblum? That's embarrassing. But anyway, someone with like a voice like his, right? He has such an imitatable voice, and that's part of, I feel like, his brand almost. So then if that gets to go anywhere and his face gets to go anywhere, then what do we have left to use as our own brand? Like,
Well, I think it's just that it's that. I think that there will be regulation against copying people in that way, where it's like maybe if they're a political feature, you can figure, then you can get away with like copying their voice and pretending like they're saying something. But even that is sketch if it's at all trying to actually promote a
mhm.
political agenda. But like in general, for celebrities and stuff, I think it's fair that they'd sue over people using their voice. Not when it just sounds like them necessarily, but if it actually is them and it was trained on their voice, then that is their right.
Sure, but I feel like that's just going to become so easy so quickly that how are you going to
It'll
sue everyone that
escape
uses
through the
it?
cracks,
How
basically.
are you gonna, yeah, exactly. How are
Yeah.
you gonna actually prevent that? I feel like we're getting to the point where people have to literally like look inside themselves and have ideas. And that's gonna be the new thing that they have that's unique to offer because as of yet, AI can't come up with something that is exactly what I would come up. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'd be able to have an idea that's separate from that, even if someone took my face and my voice. I don't know. That's gonna look really interesting to me. Especially, you
Hmm.
talk about politics. Like that's an easy one. That's one that comes to mind very quickly of you can make anyone look like they're saying anything, which is scary. But yeah, I'm wondering if it's gonna be just our ideas are the real thing that we have to offer in the future. I don't know. I haven't thought out this thought at all, so I'll keep thinking about it. But it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And probably absolute nonsense. So like I said, I'll keep thinking it through, but I'm trying to figure out like what is it? What does my brand become if it's not my face and my voice? Like, yeah, really interesting. Probably a little ways off, but I feel like it's gonna be so easy so soon.
It'll be fun to follow along with, and now we have somewhere to do that, so that'll be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm excited about future weeks of just because I feel like I've been out of the game for a while. Hello, I had a child 4 months ago, had a big long maternity leave, and then I'm just now getting back to, oh, hey, this world has moved rapidly in the 4 months that I have not been paying any attention to AI. So I'm
What's
excited
nice
to
is
just have
like
this excuse.
What's nice is about the future is if you die, if we make enough of a podcast beforehand that I have a lot of like audio from you, I can put it
Mhm.
into a generator like the guy did in the podcast and just create a voiceover that sounds like you and then keep the podcast going. So
I think you should
there's some
absolutely do
practical
that.
things. Okay, thank
I
you.
think you should absolutely do that. I think you should put some sort of tagline on it, AI Mondays with Jordan from Beyond or something like that. And
Mm,
I think that at that point, I could probably guess the things that I'm saying enough that the whole idea thing I was trying to figure out would be totally worthless. But I keep
I
trying
mean,
to figure it
and
out
if I do
because
the
there's got to be
research of
something.
if I have the ideas, I'll just put them into your voice and make you sound like you still think.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. And, I know our faces and our voices aren't what make us human, right? So what makes
Right,
us
right.
human? I'm gonna have to be just struggling with reality. But this is supposed to be about tools and cool stuff, so I won't do that anymore on here. Um, or maybe I will. Whatever.
Cool.
Cool. Well, thanks for some of those updates. That's definitely helpful for me to know what to look into. And I'll keep playing with Canva.
Awesome. Cool.
Well, if anyone did listen, thank you.
Oh yeah, thanks for listening. This is our first
Absolutely.
one. We'll figure it out. It'll be good.
Hmm.
Thanks for listening to the AI Monday podcast. See you next
Yes.
week. You want to do like a thumbnail?
The class, we both put our heads.
The classic.
Yeah.
Okay.